Welcome back once again. Still on foreign affairs, another interesting discussion that I am following and paying great attention to is the situation of the United Kingdom. Just like the United States, the United Kingdom is also a key player, not just because the United Kingdom is an ally of the United States, but also because the United Kingdom is an active conspirator of why La République du Cameroon and Ambazonia today are facing this crisis. So in my opinion, the United Kingdom have a responsibility to participate fully and honestly in resolving this conflict. So over the week, a UK member of parliament, disgusted by the actions, just over the week, a UK member of parliament, Emily Thornberry, lamented the actions of government ministers who continue to sign trade agreements with La République du Cameroon and continue to boost Cameroon's economy despite Cameroon's abuse of human rights across the Amazonian territory. So she came out strongly against the actions of the United Kingdom vis-a-vis trade in La République du Cameroon. Most countries, as she puts it, at the same time when the United States Senate was passing a resolution for the conflict to be resolved, UK was going about signing trade agreements with Cameroon, and MP Emily thought that this was shameful, and it is very disgraceful. So she put out a wonderful presentation calling out UK government ministers to account in a video that went really viral, which I'm going to play for you. And I'm also going to get another brother from the UK to give us first-hand information on who Emily is and what her presentation and her expose basically represents to resolving the Amazonian La République du Cameroon conflict. I was very struck by the comparison that she drew between what the United States Senate Congress have done and the United States Senate was doing at the same time when what the UK current administration was doing vis-a-vis this conflict. So I hope that her calling out the UK government is going to change course, not just because it's the right thing for the UK government to do, but like I said before, the United Kingdom shares a responsibility for what is going on right now. And also the United Kingdom is an ally of the United States and have this interest, even in its own interest, to work with to work in the direction of the American people and the Amazonian people to resolve this conflict. So I'll just go ahead, play this video. Let's watch this video, and then we'll get the thoughts of our brother from the UK on his thoughts about this video as well.
Madam Deputy Speaker, just 5 days before the US Senate was attacked, they came together to approve a resolution co-sponsored by 20 senators from both parties, from Marco Rubio to Cory Booker. And it was about this, about the brutal campaign of subjugation by the French-speaking government in Cameroon against the country's English-speaking minority. The Senate resolution condemned with great force the atrocities committed by the Anglophone separatist militias, and it speaks with equal power about the actions of the Cameroon government, including, I quote, torture and sexual abuse, massacres and burnings of villages, use of live ammunition against protesters, arbitrary arrests and unlawful detention, forced disappearance and deaths in custody, attacks on journalists, and the regular killing of civilians, including women, children, and the elderly. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Senate resolution noted approvingly that exactly 1 year before, the Office of the US Trade Representative, remember this is Donald Trump's trade representative, the direct counterpart of the Secretary of State for International Trade, had terminated Cameroon's access to preferential trade rights due, I quote, to persistent gross violations of internationally recognised human rights. And finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, in that same spirit, the Senate resolution urged members of the international community to join the United States in a strategic collective effort to put pressure on the government of Cameroon, including through, I quote, the use of all available diplomatic and punitive tools. And I quote that Senate resolution at length, Madam Deputy Speaker, because I believe that we must ask ourselves what on earth those senators would think if they knew that on that very same day, when they were unanimously passing those strong words of condemnation towards the government of Cameroon and urging the international community to join them, here in the United Kingdom, we were bringing into effect a brand new continuity trade agreement with Cameroon, a trade deal which was agreed by ministers, apparently with no consideration and clearly no concern for the persistent gross violations of international human rights that are taking place inside Cameroon. A trade deal which none of us in this House, bar the ministers on the bench opposite, have even been allowed to read, let alone debate or approve, and a trade deal which may or may not contain provisions on human rights, but until the government finally decides to publish it, we, the elected members of this Parliament, simply cannot know. I hope that members on all sides will keep the example of Cameroon in mind and consider the words of the US Senate and the actions of the US Trade Representative when judging how to vote later on, because we all know that on occasions like this, when amendments are up for debate, ministers will try to persuade us that they don't disagree with the good intentions behind them and they just don't think that they're really required. However, if that is what ministers are saying today in relation to Amendments 2 and 3 on human rights, or 1 and 5 on parliamentary scrutiny, I would only ask members to remember Cameroon. A trade deal done with a regime which is slaughtering women and children just because they live in English-speaking towns. A trade deal done in the face of the US Senate on the same day that they called for international support. And a trade deal which, incredibly, has still not been laid before Parliament almost 3 weeks after it came into force. I would urge all members to think about the Cameroon deal and how little consideration ministers gave either to human rights or to the rights of this Parliament when they decided to sign it. And then finally ask yourself, and ask your conscience, whether you accept what those same ministers are saying when they go through the amendments before us today and tell you they're not really required.
That was UK Member of Parliament Emily Thornberry, and let's now listen to a commentary by our own brother, also based in the United Kingdom, to tell us what this represents to the revolution as someone on the ground there in the United Kingdom.
A good day to all. It's Charles Agbo here. Just want to highlight a few things about the role of Emily Thornberry, especially in the context of what she said in Parliament. Now, Emily Thornberry is a Labour Member of Parliament, and she is the Shadow Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Commonwealth. Now, her role as a Shadow Secretary for Foreign Affairs is to hold the Secretary of Foreign Affairs to account. She is not in power, but she is a left-winger. The Labour Party, the Socialist Party, is left-wing already, but their faction is from the left of the left wing. So she first came into cabinet by the ex-Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn came into leading the Labour Party by chance because Ed Miliband changed the rules. Before, it was a parliamentary Labour Party that nominated and voted for a leader. But Ed Miliband changed that rule to say that they can nominate, but is a Labour members outside that will vote for the leader. So when they nominated, and Jeremy Corbyn was just brought in to just maintain a balance. So the Labour movement, or the Labour unions, they rallied in and voted Jeremy Corbyn, the left winger. So this is very difficult. It's very difficult for a left winger to win an election in the UK. If I have to put that in context, it will be in the US context, it will be similar to Bernie Sanders. That's how left wingers are seen here. They can be popular with the young people, but when it comes to voting, because mostly the middle ground that votes, they will never get into power that way. So, but however, what she said is significant. It's significant because she has given us pointers on what to do, on what she said. What she said is not very different from what the Oxford University Research Group has already brought forward and handed to the British government. You will notice that it's the same Oxford University Research Group that developed the AstraZeneca vaccine. And that vaccine is already being used today. But the same university that brought that findings about the Amazonian conflict, the British government has still not done anything about it. So that tells you the power dynamics in the UK. Now, if you listen to Emily Thornberry, she made mention of the Senate resolution. So that is significant because that is telling us that from now hence, any diplomacy we do, anything we say, must be in relation to the Senate resolution. The same as she has used the Senate resolution to highlight what she was saying, that's how we have to use that Senate resolution in everything we do. Because once the US take the lead, the United Kingdom will follow. But the United Kingdom, because it's a conservative government, they will never do anything. It doesn't matter how clear our situation is. This is because the conservatives, they are the same as the Republicans. Their ideologies are the same. Their country first. Their country first, as Donald Trump used to say. Now, if there's no apparent benefit to their country, they will not do it. They will not be like Tony Blair, who carried the British Army to Sierra Leone to solve the problem when there was no clear benefit to the United Kingdom. And Tony Blair is a socialist, Labour Party. So the conservatives will never do that. But now the luck we have is that we have Democrats who are socialists in the White House. So that reference that she was doing there to the Senate resolution is what we have to do. The moment the United States takes a lead, the United Kingdom will have no choice than to follow. So this is a pointer. This is an important pointer for us in our diplomacy, in everything we do. So that's all I have to say. There's a lot more I could tell about the dynamics in politics here, but this is a summary. Thank you.
Thank you very much there for your thoughts, Comrade Agbo Charles, for your commentary. Please, hope to have you back some other time, maybe for an interview or detailed analysis of another topic. So thank you very much there for your thoughts. I just want to also add that it is very important for Ambazonians across the globe to continue to advocate actively on Twitter. The little actions that we continue to do count, and do not wait until, do not be discouraged when you you make efforts and they don't get immediate results, because everything builds up and gathers momentum with time. Twitter is a very active spot for communication with the international community and with diplomats. I must say, I quoted Emily Thornberry's tweet on Twitter, and she actually liked my tweet, as you see there, which simply means diplomats are following us all on Twitter. They are ready to understand our problem, and we have to continue to push the Ambazonian message out there, because we want the people that we seek support from them to understand why we don't want La République du Cameroon anymore. So please, if you're on Twitter, continue to tweet. Revolt's update is on Facebook, it's on YouTube, and it's on Twitter. And on Twitter, you can find us at Updates Revolts, @ Updates Revolts, and you will follow all our messages and our tweets. You can follow us on Facebook also, Revolt's Update. Share your commentaries. If this message was good, please share it with somebody. Like this message. The only impact of a good message is when it's shared. A good message, a silent good message, makes no impact. So if you watch this program and like it in any way, please share, like the video, comment, invite others, and also subscribe to our YouTube. Thank you all for watching. My name is Silas Atekpo, your humble presenter of this episode. God bless you. Till next time, stay blessed. Stay protected from the coronavirus. Continue to social distance. Put on your mask. And those of you who qualify to take the vaccine, please take the vaccine. The elderly are more vulnerable, and it is better to let them take this vaccine so that we can continue to preserve lives and promote healthy living. God bless you all. God bless Ambazonia. Short live the struggle.